Welcome back to Cooking with Ben. Sorry for the long hiatus. My girlfriend actually just moved here and we've been super busy doing all sorts of stuff, including making delicious recipes. I just haven't had a chance to record them. So today's recipe, I'm actually not going to be using the Instant Pot. Now, it's not because I forgot about it. It's not because I don't love it. I still do. But this recipe just doesn't call for it. So if you want more Instant Pot stuff, check the rest of my channel, I guess. But today is going to be a pizza casserole. Now I'm on this like keto paleo diet thing, and so I can't have carbs and sugar and stuff like that. So this is going to have none of that, but it's still delicious and it's really easy to do, and you're going to see why. But let's go over the recipes real quick. We're going to be using mozzarella cheese, cheddar jack cheese, 3 eggs, cream cheese, pepperonis, mushrooms, pizza sauce, and heavy whipping cream. Now, like I said, this is a weird little recipe because it's this, no carb thing, but it's super delicious and it's super easy to make. So here we go. All right, so first for the crust. Now this is a really weird recipe for the crust, but I actually got this from a different recipe that was a taco bake, and the crust was so good that I was like, this can be used for anything. So today we're gonna use it for pizza. So to make the crust, the first thing you want to do is take 3 eggs and 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, and I had to microwave mine because it was still in the fridge for so long. But basically, you're gonna put these two together. And hold on, I gotta scoop this out. All right, so you got your cream cheese. You got your eggs, and now you're just I'm gonna use a little beater here and beat them together until it's nice and smooth. All right, so I've beat that. If you want to bring on the camera in here, I've whipped the eggs and the cream cheese until it's smooth, and now I'm gonna add 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream, and we're also gonna put in a liberal amount of Italian seasoning. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to beat that in as well. Now we're going to take a 9x13 cooking dish and we're going to grease it. I'm using this olive oil cooking spray. It's super good. So we're going to grease that liberally. And then we're going to take a mix of the cheddar jack cheese. You can really use whatever kind of cheese you want to here. And you're just going to put like a little thin layer on the bottom here. And I'm also going to use some of the mozzarella. And the cheese actually melts and becomes like a part of the dough, or crust or whatever. And it's super good. Alright. And then you're going to take the mixture of the whipping cream and the cream cheese and the eggs and everything, and you're going to try and evenly pour that over the cheese in here. And this is what it's going to look like whenever you've kind of poured it in all over the cheese and everything pretty evenly. You can see all the Italian seasoning. There's some little chunks of cream cheese in mine. Doesn't matter, cream cheese is delicious. Now you're actually going to bake it at 350 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes, which is a long time. So you can, go do other stuff. I'm gonna actually get my mushrooms ready while we're doing that. So here we go. We're gonna bake this, and then we'll be right back.
Action.
All right. So now while the crust is baking, which if you want to come in and get a little peek of it, you can already tell it's gonna be awesome. Look at that, delicious. While that's baking, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the toppings together. I'm just going to be doing pepperoni and mushroom, and I had, the big mushrooms from the beginning, and I cut them up. As you can see here, they're all sliced up, which looks delicious, but I like to saute them before I put them on a pizza. They cook down a whole lot, so even though this looks like a ton of mushrooms, and it is, it's going to cook down, and honestly, I love mushrooms, so I don't really care. So I'm going to saute these, and then they'll be ready to go, so whenever the crust is ready, we'll be ready to put everything on it and put it back in the oven. So I got these here in the skillet. I poured some olive oil in already. I'm going to pour a little bit more on because olive oil, like mushrooms, is delicious. So I don't care how much there is. Plus, you know, it's got to be there to saute. So this is going to take, you know, a few minutes. Sauteing mushrooms is pretty self-explanatory. But we'll come back in just a minute and see how they look whenever they're all sauteed and ready to go as a topping on our pizza. Alright, so our 25 minutes is up, which is how long it took for ours to cook. And we're going to go ahead and take out our crust now. Oh man, look at that. Now it looks like cheese. It's mostly cheese, but it's very crust tasting whenever you eat it. So now, before you can put the toppings on, you have to wait 5 minutes. So we're going to give this 5 minutes and then we're going to go ahead and start putting toppings on. Alright, so our crust is cooled for 5 minutes, and so now I'm just going to take some pizza sauce here and start spreading it all over the bottom. Now the nice thing about this recipe, and we'll go over it again at the end, but the super nice thing is there's only 2 ingredients that actually have specific measurements. Everything else, totally up to you. So I really like this sauce, and it smells real good, and so I'm gonna use a liberal amount of sauce. Spread it out here, and then we'll keep going. We got a layer of mushrooms. We got a layer of pepperoni. We got a whole lot of cheese. We got the rest of the mushrooms. We got the rest of the pepperoni. And a light sprinkling of cheese. So now we're going to put this back in the oven, and there's really no time. It's going to vary on how much stuff you have on the top. Just keep an eye on it. We all know what pizza looks like whenever it's all good. So we're going to look for the bubbly cheese and all that good stuff, and then we're ready to go. So we're going to throw this back in the oven, and we'll be back whenever it's done. Okay, so the pizza's been cooking for about 15 minutes or so. If you want to come in close, you can see that it's nice and bubbly. So I actually went ahead and set it to broil, and we're just going to let that broil for a couple minutes, if that. Keep an eye on it, and that's just going to crisp the top. So it's going to, crisp the top. It's going to be good. So we'll see it in just a minute. Alright, so here's the final product. Pretty happy with how it looks. Looks pretty delicious. Going to let it cool down for a minute. Then we'll cut off some slices and take a look at it and give it the old taste test. Alright, so here we have our final product. It's looking pretty darn good here. You can sprinkle some Parmesan on it. I'm going to go ahead and take my my first bite. It's probably really hot, but it looks good. Here we go. This is absolutely amazing. Seriously, super good. There's no carbs in it. And just as a recap, the only ingredients that you need to worry about measurements for, you need 4 ounces of cream cheese softened and 1/3 of a cup of heavy whipping cream and 3 eggs. That's it. Everything else is totally up to you. You can put whatever toppings you want on it, put whatever cheeses you want on it. You can go crazy. And it's super easy and it's super good. And thanks for tuning in to this episode of Cooking with Ben. Try and be back a little bit more often, and yeah, thanks a lot.